Hey there, good evening. It is Saturday, the 13th. Yeah, the 13th of January 2024, just before 8:30 p.m. This is going to be an evening update on our upcoming slash pretty much now arriving Arctic event across the state of Texas with quite a bit of cold weather persisting through midweek. Now, I've got some good news. The good news is unlike February 2021, that map is not coded in pink like the crowd at a Barbie movie. Back in 2021, that whole map would have been pink with winter storm warnings. That's not the case this time. It's going to be cold. It's going to be very cold. We're going to have to talk about some ice issues, a bit of sleet and snow, but we're not doing the whole 2021 repeat where the entire state is going to be below freezing for a week with, 30-degree below temperatures. Not going to happen this time, but we are going to have impacts. So let's talk about that in this special Friday evening edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. All right, good evening. I'm Texas Storm Chaser's Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. It is coming up to 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, the 13th of January, 2024. Yeah, Crashy, the cold front is pushed through the northern half of Texas. We'll just go take a look at it now. With temperatures falling well below freezing pretty quickly, you can see the progression over the last several hours. DFW Metroplex well into the mid-60s this afternoon, now into the 20s with wind chills in the single digits. The Panhandle already approaching below zero temperatures with wind chills of 20 to 25 below. Doesn't that sound thrilling? The correct answer is no. This is Texas, not North Dakota. Southern half of Texas, hey, y'all are actually still doing pretty well. 40s, 50s, 60s, even some 70s today. You get your Crashy the cold front tonight into Sunday morning. But if you're in the Rio Grande Valley, far west Texas, west of the Guadalupe Davis Mountains, hey, you're actually probably going to stay warm for the next few days before some cooler air finally filters in. Let's take a look at what we're expecting over the next several days. Starting off with the cold front progression as we continue through the evening. It would have helped if I updated that file, so give me just a second. It's a Saturday. Here we go. Here's the progression as we continue through the night. You can see cold front going to continue pushing south through Interstate 10, probably by 2 a.m. in San Antonio, Houston. But notice how it kind of stalls out before making it to the Rio Grande Valley tomorrow. It may still be in the 70s tomorrow afternoon in McAllen and Brownsville, South Padre Island. Same thing for far west Texas, the borderland highs in the 50s and 60s west of the Davis Guadalupe Mountains. That mountain range providing a bit of a wall, preventing the colder air from shifting west. But everywhere else in Texas, it's going to be really cold tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, even into parts of Wednesday. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the reason you're probably wanting to know why we're doing an evening video. Let's talk about the timing for some ice chances tomorrow into the weekend. I updated all these video files before I started this, and they just didn't save, so my apologies, but apparently technology just hates me. I'm not even going to bother stopping. Here we go. Here's tomorrow morning. You can see some freezing drizzle possible. The Arklatex, East Texas, down to the Brazos Valley, Central Texas, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. I don't think it's going to be widespread. So most roads are going to stay fine, I think, tomorrow afternoon. DFW Metroplex, probably fine for the start of the Cowboys game. But as we continue on into Sunday night, Monday morning, we're going to see increasing ascent overspread several regions of Texas, North Texas, Central Texas, the Hill Country, even into the Edwards Plateau, South Texas, east through the coastal plains, the coastal bend, the Brazos Valley, Southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle, the Piney Woods, the East Texas region, the Arklatex. As that occurs, we're going to see freezing drizzle, light freezing rain become more widespread, more abundant, and with temperatures that are going to be way below freezing, we're talking single digits, teens, 20s, anything that falls is going to stick to elevated exposed objects, bridges, overpasses, flagpoles, tree branches, power lines, all that nonsense, and even some surface roads, so things could get slick, or as I like to phrase it now, slicky, slicky, doom, doom. And that could continue into even Monday afternoon across portions of East Texas, Southeast Texas, the coastal bend. Notice that the freezing line, where we go from green to pink here, is almost right on the Gulf Coast, the middle upper Texas coast. So, yeah, we're going to have some ice issues, I think. Now, let me be abundantly clear as we take a look at the forecast accumulation graphics. Most of this is going to be extremely light. We're talking a few hundredths of an inch. This is not expected to be a repeat of the crippling ice storm that impacted the Hill Country, Central Texas, Austin last year. That's not this. This is, in the scope of things, a relatively minor but potentially widespread event. Exception being, we might see some slightly higher ice totals, maybe a tenth to 2/10 of an inch in portions of southeastern North Texas, East Texas, but still, in the scope of ice storm criteria, still pretty minor. Probably not even enough to cause a lot of tree branches to come down, power lines to come down. Most of what you're looking at here is a trace. The issue with that is it only takes a trace to muck up roads, turn bridges, overpasses into slicky, doom, and even some surface roads. And we clearly do not have a lack of elevated roadways, bridges, overpasses, ramps in the state of Texas. Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Waco, Temple, Belton, DFW, Tyler, all the way out towards Shreveport, Louisiana, up in the Texarkana. So, keep in mind, the best chance for some slicky conditions will be tomorrow evening, Monday morning, perhaps persisting in spots through Monday evening and Tuesday morning. That being said, I don't think this is going to be a widespread shut the state down event in terms of accumulating winter precipitation, but we need to be mindful there will be slick conditions, and we need folks to recognize that if roads look wet, they're probably ice, given the fact that temperature is going to be below freezing for most of the region. Compared to this morning's forecast, the probability of some very light ice accumulations have expanded back into the Concho Valley, the Hill Country, even South Texas, almost to Corpus Christi, Victoria, the Houston metro. Now, this is going to be close for Houston. This may stay on the northwestern suburbs of Houston, while places like Galveston, Lake Jackson, you may stay just fine, just above freezing, while most of the precipitation is falling Monday afternoon. But it's going to be close. But again, this is not like 2021. We're not going to have inches of ice, inches of sleet, and a foot of snow across the entire state. This should not be enough to cause a crippling, damaging ice storm to infrastructure. To make that abundantly clear, I don't think we're going to be losing a whole lot of power lines and trees over this. In terms of the Arklatex, conditions are going to be a bit colder. We're not going to have a warm layer aloft melting snow and putting it into freezing rain and sleet up in the Arklatex. So the northeastern Texas panhandle may get a quick dusting of snow tonight, tomorrow, and then Texoma, northeast Texas, we could see a dusting, maybe a half-inch of snow. Texarkana, you may end up with 1 to 2 inches of snow over to DeKalb. And then by the time you get into Little Rock, to Memphis, to Nashville, to Knoxville, Arkansas, Tennessee, we're talking 4 to 10 inches of snow. So big snowstorm just to our northeast. We're getting the tail end misfits. I don't really care. But again, issue's going to be icy conditions, especially on elevated bridges, overpasses, etc., especially tomorrow night into Monday. Cowboys game, you should not have issues getting to the Cowboys game unless we somehow get freezing drizzle by early tomorrow afternoon, which is only about a 20% probability. Getting out of the Cowboys game, there may be some slick spots. I don't think everything's going to be an ice bucket, but we'll have to keep an eye on things. And again, just take it slow, take it carefully. It'll be all right. This isn't, Ice-Mageddon, Cobblestone Edition nightmare or a big-time winter storm, but it's going to get cold. Speaking of cold, let's take a look at the forecast wind chills in the morning. This is 7 a.m. Sunday tomorrow. Wind chills below zero, essentially along the north of Interstate 20 from Midland, Odessa to Abilene to pretty much Stephenville, south of I-20, to the DFW Metroplex, all the way up to Paris. Wind chills of 0 to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Yippee, that sounds enjoyable, said no one ever. Wind chills, single digits, teens, all the way down to San Antonio, Del Rio, Houston Metro as the cold front rolls in, and then it's just going to be cold. Temperatures not getting above freezing tomorrow afternoon in the northern half of Texas and probably won't get above freezing until Wednesday. As we take a look at the high temperature forecast on Monday, same story. Temperatures teens, 20s, low 30s into Monday afternoon, not getting above freezing in the northern half to the northern two-thirds of Texas. But for what it's worth, looks like Del Rio, you're going to get up in the mid-50s. Kind of the highest density of cold air is going to be across the eastern two-thirds of Texas, which is why y'all in El Paso, Alpine, y'all are going to be the 60s Monday afternoon. Cold air is staying east of you, with the Rio Grande Valley possibly still barely avoiding crashing the cold front as it stalls out, allowing for highs in the low to mid 60s. That's because by the time the cold air is getting down here, it's becoming more shallow, with the highest density of cold air passing to our north and northeast. Even though it's still going to be quite cold here, a few thousand feet above the ground, it's still going to be in the 40s and 50s. As we head into Tuesday morning, here you go, lows. Below zero in the Panhandle, single digits to about 10 degrees, all the way down to San Angelo. Alpine, yeah, y'all may be in the 60s Monday afternoon. It's going to get into single digits Tuesday morning. That's only a 60-degree drop. Teens all the way down to San Antonio, Del Rio, Brazos Valley, Houston, Lufkin, freezing line all the way into the Rio Grande Valley, the Rio Grande Plains, the Coastal Bend, pretty much the entire state, with the exception of maybe right along South Padre Island, will be below freezing Tuesday morning. So we end at Tuesday afternoon, high temperatures still staying in the 20s to right around freezing, northern two-thirds of Texas, but a little warmer than Monday, it looks like. And even if we don't get above freezing, I think as we get into late Monday, into Tuesday, we're going to have what's called sublimination. Wind, essentially, is going to help evaporate some of any ice accumulations. And we'll have some sunshine on Tuesday, so we should see road conditions improve for areas that are still having issues by that point. And then another freeze Tuesday night for the whole state. By Wednesday, upper 60s across the Trans-Pecos Valley. We're going to see the entire state of Texas above freezing Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday night, cold again. Thursday, 50s, 60s, maybe even 70s southern half of Texas, with another strong cold front, not as strong as this one, arriving Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. So again, we'll switch back over, take a look at the high-res rapid refresh model for precipitation timing tomorrow. Light freezing drizzle becoming more widespread Sunday night into Monday morning across the Arklatex, East Texas, Southeast Texas, the Brazos Valley, parts of North Texas, Central Texas, South Texas, the Hill Country, the Coastal Bend, the Coastal Plains. And again, this is going to be mostly quite light, but it's going to be enough to turn elevated roadways, bridges, ramps into skating rinks in spots, and even some surface roads, especially those that haven't been pre-treated with a brine solution. So again, this will just be a good opportunity for you to make sure you check road conditions. You can do that at drivetexas.org. And if you want to know about your specific forecast for your local location, download the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. You can get your local weather forecast, your current weather, interactive weather radars, these weather updates sent straight to your device, and of course, all the fun storm chasing stuff we do when, it's not 5 degrees outside. With that being said, we'll keep an eye on things. We'll have another detailed video out Sunday morning. And as always, you can get the latest, TexasStormChasers.com. Y'all have a good night. Congratulations to the Texans. Let's do the same thing tomorrow, Cowboys. We'll chat with you all later.